Hello friends, in this time I will show you how to use and how I created the One Simple API Image Manager package. This is a more complex package that I have seen until now of One Simple API. And this is because this package is very powerful because it lets you modify an image, making different operations, like for example, cropping an image. You can rotate an image, you can add a border to an image, you can apply different effects, you can do a lot of things with this package. So let's examine the different inputs. Uh, Basically, you have to enter only two inputs. Two inputs are mandatory. In first place, the image with which you are going to work. This is an upload type because basically we have to upload the image to work with, and the other input that is mandatory is the output input, which basically specify how you want basically the output of this generation. If you specify text, you're basically going to receive the modified image URL. We have different options here: redirect, CSV for Google Docs, and all this is to do different things after you have performed the conversion of the image. But we have another optional inputs, like for example the format. If you want a PNG or GPA format, output format, you can do it. The default is WebP. And you can see that as outputs, as inputs, I have this input type as text. Why is this a text and not a combo box as another packages? Well, because there are some inputs that are very open so that you can enter any information, any sort of information. You are going to see this on another notes. But you can see that also we don't have a specific value to the endpoint to specify a different value, a default value. This, if you don't specify a value, for example, PNG or GPH, the service is going to perform the conversion automatically. You don't have to enter any input, and we don't have the option to enter a WebP input option. So that is the reason, because that's the reason why I have here different values as hints, so that you can enter that information as default values. Another input that you can specify is the size. You can see that the default is preserved, but you can use basically many formats. We can use this format 200 by 150, 200 width, 100 height. Even you can specify profile sizes, for example, Twitter profile. And you can see that there are a lot of different values that you can use as part of this input. We have also the resize mode. Okay, if you don't specify a resize mode, it will try to keep the aspect ratio of the original image, but you can also specify another values like size limit or forced. You have another input, crop. There is no crop if you don't specify any value, but you can specify different parameters for a cropping of the image. For example, 200 by 150, Twitter profile, etc. We have another node, which is rotate. If you don't specify it, the image is not rotate, but you can specify another parameters, like for example auto. You can specify the degrees of the rotation if you want, for example 90 degrees, 45 degrees, etc. We have another option named flipped, which if you don't specify, it won't flip. But if you specify the value B, it's going to flip vertical, H for horizontal, VH for both at the same time. We have different filters that we can apply. Here I have the different parameters that the service let us to enter. And at the end of the hint, I have a description of different parameters or how can you use these different filters, with how you can enter these different values. And even if you want to combine them, I have an example here at the end, which says that adding a comma between the different filters, you can apply more than one filter at a time. You can also specify a border. There are pixels of the border, for example, 10 pixels. We have the border color. You can specify an HTML color, like for example red, or an hexadecimal color, for example this color that we see here. Optimize, if you want to optimize this image it is true by default, but if you want for any reason disable this optimization, you can enter the false keyword as part of the text so that you disable the optimization part. False is false by default, but if you want to regenerate the image, you can add true to the text so that it regenerates the image even if it was regenerated before. Remove background lets you remove the background of the image. I have to say that this is a premium feature, so if you have a premium account on the One Simple API service, you can use this feature. If you are on the free tier, you can't use this feature. Also for the upscale input node, this is also a premium feature, so you have to have a premium version of your account so that you can use this particular characteristic or feature. If you want to enable it, you have to specify true as the value of this input type. Finally, we have another input node in which you specify how you want the result of the generated image. If you want a URL, if you want a redirect, CSV, for the Google Docs, JSON or base64 to use on your own applications. The default is text. And after we have all this information, I have created an HTTP request node in which basically we have the URL, the endpoint URL, using a get method, and we have all the different bounds of the inputs to query parameters so that the service can use them. Finally, we have a finished node in which basically we use the template of the generated response. In this case, we place a name result.txt with a text format. After we have all this information, we can run the package. I'm going to upload an image. For example, this image that you can see on the screen. And then after that, we can start playing with the different values. For example, I want a JPG format, the size, for example, Twitter profile. Okay. The resize mode is I'm going to leave it as it is. I'm going to rotate, for example, 90 degrees or 180 degrees. Maybe we're going to do this. We're going to input an edge to flip horizontally. Let's rotate 45 degrees. Filters, for example, let's apply the sepia filter to the border. Let's add a 10 pixel border with a color, for example. Let's try this default value FF0033. And basically there are all the properties that I'm going to use. Let's use the One Simple API key. Let's run the package. Okay, you can see that we have a result, and we have here the new image. You can see that if we paste on the browser this image, we have this new image with all the different characteristics applied. We have this image with the sepia filter. Okay, let's try another thing. Let's run the package. Let's say that we don't want the sepia filter and we want a white border color. Let's remove this format and the size, and let's run the package. Okay, here we have the new image with a WebP format. I think that the first time we didn't see the border because we cropped the image so that it fits to a Twitter profile pic. But this time, in which we haven't specified a size, a crop size, or a crop function, we have all the characteristics. In this specific case, the border. You can see that we have the new border, and that we are making a flip of the image from the original image. So this is the way in which you can use this very powerful image manager package So I hope it is useful to you, and see you in the next video.